much. We are going to have a quick overdose reversal training from folks with the Indiana Recovery Alliance. So if you would please give your attention to Kyle Halverson and Lauren Dunkelbarger. Thank you so much.
So we just kind of got thrown into this, so I'm kind of nervous, but I've done this a million times, so I know I can do it, just not in front of this many people.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is stimulate a person. If you see somebody that is laying on the ground, you could just assume that they're probably overdosing. We don't know that yet, though. We're going to stimulate them. You could take your hand and sternum rub. I'm getting all flustered. And rub their sternum right here. If you do it to yourself, just try real quick. It kind of hurts. If they don't stimulate to that, my boss jokes and says, tell them the cops are on their way or whatever. They might wake up for that. If they don't stimulate to any of that, Nick, you're here? You doing this?
Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, we had a problem with the Larry being, sorry about that. Sorry for being late. I'm categorically late to everything in my life. Running a non-profit is a challenging thing. Scotty's gonna walk us through a Narcan training, but we're gonna have a discussion about it as well. Talk about this?
Sure. So the first thing about opioid overdose, and I'm sure you all know what opioids are, Percocet, Narcos, anything in that family, this will only reverse that overdose. It won't reverse anything else but that. So the main thing that happens is the opioid suppresses your breathing. That's the most biggest thing that it does to your body, is suppresses your breathing. So in that, when you find somebody who is maybe possibly overdosing,
I'm gonna overdose.
Yo, what up, Nick? Yo, what's going on, bro? What's going on? So he's non-responsive, but I'm gonna make sure, so we're gonna do this, a sternal rub. If I rub on his chest really, really hard, and he doesn't come to yet, the next thing I could do is rub his upper lip, and that hurts really, really bad. And if they don't respond from that, I think I heard Lauren say when I was walking in, say the cops are on their way or something like that, and if they don't get up, they're probably overdosing, or say I'm gonna steal your stuff.
Make sure they are not breathing.
Yes.
You do not need to put Narcan on anybody who is simply nodding out. That is cruel and unusual punishment. I hope you're understanding me. It is a life-saving drug. There is no reason to give people this if you're just worried. Monitor their breathing, see what's going on. If you do catch them, the second they stop breathing, start the process. I just want to throw that in, so I'm gonna go back over this.
So I've done the chest sternum, right? And I did his lip. I had no response at all whatsoever. So my next step is to get Nick on the ground in what we call the recovery position,
You all see
but
me?
really the fetal position, really. So he's pulled this in. I knew we were close, but so he's done now. So, like I said, right, anything could block your respiratory system. So I want to clean Nick's mouth out and get anything out. You'll be surprised what you'll find in drug users' mouths. Believe me when I tell you. So once that, I would turn Nick over on his back.
I have a bad back, give me a second.
Yeah. So now I would turn his head back, get a good, a clear seal on his nose, get a clear seal with my lips over his. I don't care who it is in the community, but my lips are going on theirs because the life is not going to die on my watch. So I would lock lips with Nick and give him 2 rescue breaths. So 2. Then I administer 1 dose.
Don't really do that. I said, don't really put this stuff in my nose.
Oh, I'm not going to. I'm gonna Narcan him. We go to the methadone clinic. So I would administer one up his nose and continue rescue breathing.
Every 4 seconds, right?
Yeah, every 4 seconds we rescue breath, those 2 breaths. And we keep doing that after about 3.5 to 4 minutes. If they have not shown signs of coming back, then we can hit them with another dose. Now, like Nick said, it's scary. And I remember the first time I reversed an overdose, I was ready to give this guy every kind of Narcan there was in the house. If there wasn't one dose, I probably would have given him 15 because I didn't know any different. So we have to make sure we wait for that dose to work. Now this is, hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, man? You all right?
You can explain first.
Right. So, love, we talk about love and compassion all the time. When this individual wakes up, they're not going to be happy because it basically knocks your high out. It knocks everything out of your...
Previous is when I'm awaking, I don't know where I've been. Like, we don't know we've overdosed. Because the brain does this cognitive dissonance thing where, like, when you get up, you're not aware that you've had, some people are, but for the most part, you're just waking up like you're waking up, right? So all I know is I'm waking up to him, right? And at first, your brain doesn't kind of understand. And think of it, it's like someone you don't know. Somebody's over you, like leaning over you in your face and stuff when you wake up. So a lot of times people will be like, "Are you okay?" You see it in the hospital all the time. What'd you take, heroin? Was it heroin? Was it heroin? And you're immediately in panic, and you're immediately like, yeah, absolutely in a place where you can't even function, you know? And you just repeat and parrot whatever that said. I watched a doctor do this to someone once, and the guy just said, as soon as he woke up, I'm trying to reach him so the guy can see my eyes, so he knows it's okay, you know, because it was a friend of mine. And the doctor's on him saying, was it heroin? Was it heroin? Come on, was it heroin? And like getting in the way of me just so that they can say it's a heroin overdose. And this dude's flipping the fuck out. He has no idea what happened, you know? And finally I locked eyes with him. I'm like, it's okay, he's a doctor, it's okay. And he calmed down a little bit. So that's why he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
So luckily I know Nick, but if it was somebody I didn't know, I have gotten bad reactions from people. I won't talk about them, but people who don't know me. But I know Nick, so I'm gonna be like, Nick, man. All right, what's up, brother? You all right, brother? You okay?
No,
it's all right. Don't worry, man. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Just chill out for me for a minute, all right?
No, tell me.
All right. It happens.
I'm gonna get off this table.
Yeah. So this is where I feel all the love and so now I throw every inch of love and compassion that I have into Nick. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be all right, man. I'm gonna stay with you. Let's hang out for the next couple hours.
I need dope now.
I'm sorry. I know how
Fuck
bad
that,
you
fuck
want
that,
it.
fuck
I'm sorry, brother.
So that's what will happen, right? Your brain doesn't know. If you're physically dependent, I'm not going to say addicted because it's a real shitty word and doesn't describe the situation correctly. If someone's physically dependent, all you know is that, like, that's what you need, right? Like, it's primal. You know what I mean? Like, you just know that's what will make you be okay. It doesn't have any function in the, like, addiction, learned behavior, or anything. When you're coming up and over, it's literally primal. You know that the worst feeling you've ever had in your life. I don't know if any of you have been sick, but if you ask anybody who's used opiates and been sick, there's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. I describe it in one way and it doesn't hold any reverence, it doesn't even come close, but like, if you've ever been spurned by a lover that you really loved, right? I mean, that like, you put everything into, and they now... Thank you. I love you, Penny, thank you. If you've ever been spurned by a lover, right? And like, they won't take your calls, and you don't want to stalk them or anything, but you know that like, they just need to talk to you. And then you have a fever of like 104, your bones shaking, you've got horrible like crawls in the back and all this shit, and you know, if that person will just come back to you and say you love you, and like be there, all the pain, all the stuff goes away. And like that's maybe a barest glimpse into what it is. It's psychological, it's physical, it's unimaginable. With fentanyl, it is 7,000 times worse. You know what I mean? So you have to understand when these people are coming out of here, we do this look where we punish them. We're set on punishing these people, you know, when they come out of this. And it's garbage. It doesn't work. We've lived in a society where we now know it doesn't work. So basically, for like people like, let's say heart problem, you get a heart problem. Well, here's an intervention, there's a drug and that. Our only intervention comes when we die. That's disgusting. Our only intervention. There's all these other things, but as far as like that, that's what we get. So the idea that we work on, Scotty and I and the IRA and all our people, is that with radical love, we can do something. And that doesn't have to be like softy bubbles in the paint, you know? It's a different form. It's trusting people. It's telling people what they really need to hear, whether it hurts them or not, you know? And not being judgmental. Scotty does this all the time. Like, Scotty's an amazing asset, as all my own. But, like, to transcend that sort of stigma and to come in this is a battle, you guys. Like, I've been here my whole life. This is my town. I've, like, lived and done every bad and good thing here. And Scotty's a fucking amazing person, an asset here. And to have to come out of these overdoses and to teach people how to bring people back, people come to us afterwards and they're like, what did you tell my wife? You know, and we just told him to be nice. You know, it's the stupid, silliest thing. We've switched to 3 milligram. She's not here anymore, unfortunately, but we switched to 3 milligram naloxone because of the science. We've now found that when EMT, and I'll be done once again, we've now found that EMT and sometimes police stars, when they go to respond to an overdose, they'll just keep giving them Narcan. Or they'll only give them one breath and then they won't rescue breathe. This isn't their fault. This is their training and their liability, right? You can't tell somebody who has a job, don't beat your liability for this guy. You know what I mean? Like, lose your job for this guy. It's not fair. You know what I mean? At the same time, it's not fair to have that be your training, you know? What we found with 3 milligram and not over, what we found in the evidence is people were just giving doses. They weren't rescue breathing. They were just giving doses till they woke up. We don't know what that does. This is all new territory. We kind of do. We don't know what 5 Narcans or 9 Narcans does in somebody's nose before they wake up. We just don't know, you know? And no one gives a shit to research drug users in a sense that makes us have this robust data we have for like cancer patients and other things like that. So I just want to say that it's like, we now know it's bullshit. The game's afoot. We now know these things. And I just want to tell you, don't be hard on EMS or police. That's how they have to do it. I went and trained at a school. Yeah, I went and trained at a school in Indianapolis. They were so scared to touch that student because the second they touch that student, it's a lawsuit city, right? Even to save a freaking life, they were scared because there'd be lawsuits. So like that's the landscape we're playing at, and it's up to you guys to change the landscape because I'm trying and it's not working. So like that needs to be done now. You know, like we had someone die recently at North High School. We should be training in there. Someone should have naloxone trainings to the children, not to the adults. It takes a nurse sometimes like 15 minutes to get to somebody, and their job is crazy and hard, you know? So I just want you to understand that these are some of the reasons we do these things, that it's all backed in science and evidence, right? Also, when we talk about expertise in drug use, or we were talking about that earlier, that like anybody can have expertise in their own drug use, right? That's nothing, that's here. What it comes with is going to school, learning from your job, and then compiling the education with your lived experience. And that makes somebody that is unimaginable, right? We can go places other people can't go, we can gain trust other people can't trust, and we can translate that to public health and to county health, right? And in that moment, we find that the true change happens, right? Our peers and our people working in harm reduction and recovery are freaking amazing people and should get hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It is the most mind-numbingly psychic horror story to have to constantly deal with grief, pain, and shame brought on by your government. You know, this nonprofits are doing a entire public health response on a nonprofit fucking system. This is disgusting. You know, we'll fight as hard as we can. We got lucky. You want to talk about the opioid? Yeah. Sure. We got really lucky that Scotty was saying something about the settlements. We were speaking about the federal settlements. We got really lucky that our county people have really looked into this and made ways to make these settlements accessible for people who are actually doing the work. You know, that's a rarity. It really doesn't happen like this. We need to focus to get all that money outside of law enforcement, outside of us, and into the places that we know it actually works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope that comment that I made earlier, I wasn't talking about Indiana, because Indiana has done a great job. Monroe County has done a great job and the state with the opioid settlement money. I was talking about other states, that some states haven't even received a dime. So that's why I brought that up. And I'm also going to bring up the education part, and getting trained and really learning how to use it is so important. I mean, I know you guys saw our little skit here, but I went to a concert a couple weeks ago, and I checked my pockets while I was walking in, and I didn't have any naloxone with me, and that scared me. A young girl came up to me, and she asked if I wanted some naloxone, and I said yes. I forgot mine, but I said, "Can you train me how to use it?" And she couldn't. She had no idea how to train me how to use it. So I trained her really quick how to use it, and I saved a life that night. And I'm not patting my back on the shoulder for that, but if I didn't know how to use it, and I didn't know how to if I didn't know how to tell people what not to do in that moment, it may have turned out differently.
So we're gonna wrap it up. I'm really sorry I was late, you guys. I was trying to get something that didn't work out to do this. I've known as I've gotten into professional life that like I have a lot to learn, and time is kind of a mismanagement, you know. Thanks for being here. There's all the Narcan you could ever want over there. The health department has it as well. We have lovely partners at the health department and at the county. And I just want to say before we leave, like really, like the county helped us in a way that was. I don't know what to do. Anyways, we now have a building at 1710 West 3rd Street that's owned by us. We're gonna have a recovery center there pretty soon. That's like a certified RCO, and we're gonna start seeing what we can do. You know, and I invite anybody in any form of recovery. This is not just for people in harm reduction. Harm reduction encompasses all 12-step abstinence, religious, everything. We take all freaking comers. If you're interested in bettering yourself and figuring out a way to stop the madness, then we are here and we want you. We don't, so I'll explain something real quick. We don't use the face shields because what we found out using them is they go, and a lot of times people have gritty teeth. I was gonna bring an ambi bag up here, but there's no use because you're not gonna get an ambi bag. There are really good you ask Charles Culp, he'll get them for you, or he'll explain what they are. To use. In a pinch, if you have to use those, Ashley has ones that are like, if you can form the seal, that's great. But I've tried 3 reversing overdoses and I've not been able to form a seal the right way. I actually wrote them about that because I was a staunch supporter of those. Lots of people in this community put out Narcan. I'm sorry, hurry up. And Centerstone, we have bulk Narcan. If you guys need it, come get it. We will supply all of you. It doesn't matter who you are. You got anything else you want to say before we stop? Okay.
Thank you all for letting me talk and try and inform you guys a little bit about harm reduction and what it encompasses. And I hope you all learned something today. And please, if you need any further training, if you didn't catch something, find me. I will be more than happy to retrain every single one of you if you'd like.
Seamless plug for donations to the IRA.